What's up, everybody? Welcome, and I'm Jordan. This is Hive Mind Hobbies. We're doing a Tyranid Army List review show, and apparently, I scheduled it during a horse race championship of some sort. I apologize, Ben. I did not know that was going on today, so I'm sorry if you're multitasking or if you're just gonna miss the stream. Welcome back, everybody. We're here. What's up, Kraken Matt? Good to see you. Super excited to be doing these Army List reviews. If you know me from Wednesday Night Warhammer, hey, check it out. If you know me from Wednesday Night Warhammer, I used to do these for a very long time on Wednesday Night Warhammer. But I don't know, I got burnt out a little bit. It was too much. So I took a step back. I was doing them once a week. And I decided that maybe just a pause, and I wanted to continue it in the new year, which here we are. Oh, it's Kiwi. Oh, I'm very interested, Ben. Give me 1 second. But here we are on Hive Mind Hobbies. I think I'm going to try and do these twice a month. And so how this stream works is people submit lists through the community. If you look on Hive Mind Hobbies, if you look on the post section of the YouTube channel itself, all you need to do is copy and paste your list from whatever army list builder that you use and put it into that post. And then I will take a look at it on one of these streams. We've newly started memberships here on Hive Mind Hobbies. So if you want to support the channel a little bit, maybe help me get some coffee. Ding, ding, ding. And then become a member. And if you're a member, then your list gets priority a little bit over everybody else's. The queue is... it actually filled up pretty quick too. So if you want your list to be reviewed, like next time we do it, might be next week, might be the following week, then I would suggest being a member. Otherwise, just chill. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being cool. And I hope you're having a good day. So we're going to get right into it. What bam? Our first list on the channel. One True Dark Soul, are you a member already? Oh my word. Is that star icon that I have yet to... Does that mean you're a member? Thank you, One True Soul. I do have your list already. But it's right here. We'll get to it. I promise. We'll get to it. It's there. It's locked and loaded. I'm excited to be hanging out with all you guys. Thank you for being in chat. If you haven't subscribed already, do that. But just happy you're here. Happy we're hanging out and talking about Tyranids. Sick. Thank you so much, One True Soul. I really appreciate the support, man. Our first list on the channel. This is cool stuff, guys. Is Ryan Osborne, B3P. Oh, Ryan's here. Heck yeah. He says, hi, Jordan. Love the streams on both channels. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I've gone 3-0 at 4 RTTs, probably 30 to 50 players in each with this list, but found myself going back to Invasion when the Necrons got their buff. Any thoughts around the list, changes, and general advice? Thank you. And it's TFX Tunnels. So, Ryan, point blank, right? If you've gone to 3-0 at 4 RTTs, with around 50 players each, I think you've figured something out, man. I think you've done good. Oh, I see, Ben. It's really funny because I don't... Dude, that's so cool. I'm so glad to know that now. I'm sorry. I have no idea. That's super cool. But thank you, Ben. I Googled it before we were like live, and it showed up as a horse race championship, and I thought I scheduled it. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, Ryan, this list seems pretty cool, and I just skimmed it before, and I do have some questions for you since you're in chat. It seems pretty cool. I always love when people are hanging out. So Subterranean Assault, we have Swarborn, we have Trigon, we have 2 Hormigons, Biovore, 2 Exocrines, triple Haruspecs, Lictor, Ravener, another Trigon, Tyrannifex, and Tyrannifex. Sweet, man. Yeah, Ben. I was like, what is he saying? And now I feel like a stooge, man. Okay, cool. So you went 3-0, and I'm assuming... So here's the thing that I've like, what you've done, Ryan. And it's something that I have yet to do because I don't play a whole lot of Subterranean Assault. I think you are actually leaning a little bit on the angle cutting aspect that Subterranean Assault can help you with so much rather than just getting a bunch of 6-inch charges. I say that and immediately ignore the triple horror specs, right? I mean, double Exocrine, double Tyrannifex. This is a lot of stuff actually in this list. I'm actually kind of surprised how much stuff you have in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 units. Good Lord. Dude, Rob, this is actually pretty cool, man. I do not hate this at all. So, Rob, a couple of things. Yes, I would be interested to see how well this does into Necrons. But if we're not beating around the bush, if we're not kidding ourselves, how does any list right now do into Necrons? Like, what is the baseline that we should be aiming for when we're going up against a faction that everybody is kind of agreeing that is a little bit tough, right? So, I don't know. I think if you've gone 3-0 at 4 RTTs, you know, who am I to offer any advice off of somebody who's just been killing it? The only thing that I would say, it's really funny that I said that, and immediately you can tell by my tone of voice I have something that I might change. The other thing that I would say, and depending on your playstyle, I might prefer a second set of Raveners than Trigon, right? Just to save yourself the CP for getting this Trigon out. And, you know, I don't know, if you're just doing like one go turn, like boom, and that's it, it's fine. But I think for like reoccurring help, then probably Raveners, right? So an idea that I would float your way as well is if we made the Trigon, and again, 4 RTTs, 3-0, do it, right? But if we made the Trigon another Ravener squad, and then we have 15 points, right? Oh, my bad. What's a computer? I actually haven't touched a computer since the last time we've done an army list review show. That's why I'm so rusty. 15 points. What was I going to say? Okay, so we have 15 points left over. Man, I was doing it in my head and then I completely forgot. Was I going to say Neurolictors? I was not going to say Neurolictors. But I also think that, this is what I was going to do. Hey, what's up, Matt? Dropping a horror specs and a T-Fex for old One-Eyes Bodyguard to deal with the Catan. Ooh, interesting. I was thinking, I think if you drop a horror specs, I don't know. The Tyrannifexes are so good, though, Ryan. Like, Rupture Cannons, I love Rupture Cannons. I do think that Rupture Cannons they can either be really good in Catan or they can be really, really bad. And it's really hard to evaluate that because of, just 4-up and vulnerables. I definitely think that you switch these horror specs to Screamer Killers. In my opinion, I just think that, I don't know. I feel like Screamer Killers they're the same points as horror specs. I think they offer a little bit more utility. And I like the consistency of just 3 damage and a bunch of attacks at 3 damage as opposed to 4 attacks at D6+1, right? Like it's a higher, if you're a good gambler, chat, don't gamble. If you're a good gambler, maybe keep the horror specs, but I would try Screamer Killers. And then with the 15 points left over, you can like change this Lictor to a Neurolictor. Because I think the combo of Screamer Killer and Neurolictor is pretty cute. I do. So, Old One-Eye and his gang. Now, Ryan, would you be keeping it? Oh, yeah, of course you would be keeping it in Snakes. But Old One-Eye, so you would just do the big shots. I don't know. You could do the. I think another thing that we should be highlighting Catan. And this is what I think a lot of us need to be doing when we're going up against Catan, is not thinking more about how can we kill all of the Catan. I think you killed maybe 1 or 2 Catans in the entire game, right? In the entire game. But you maybe think more about like outscoring them And I think you might just be leveraging like your lines of sight, your maneuverability, doing things like Raveners, really being careful with your Hormagaunts, out OCing, move blocking stuff, and then maybe just like take one flank that is weak. And just do that. I was going to say that Catan are kind of slow, and you can just outmaneuver them. But if they're doing like the Pantheon of Woe, the Nightbringer is not slow, right? He moves 10 and he advances and charges. That's not slow. And he has fly. But if you're staying Subterranean Assault, I would try Screamer Killers, see how they feel versus Harvest Bexes, and then maybe do like a Neurolictor, and then try 5 more Raveners. I think the repeated value of the Raveners going up and down without having to spend command points, stuff. All crushing with the strat for sustained would be 22 attacks sustained and rerolls. So would you like Crushing Claws? Would you do Scything Talons, or would you do any ranged? I mean, that sounds metal. That sounds awesome. However, there was a very specific Wednesday Night Warhammer stream where I failed, I think it was 3 6-inch charges in a row with Subterranean Assault, and then I just lost on the spot. So, like, that's my nightmare scenario, and that's why I don't really play Subterranean Assault anymore, because I'm just worried I don't make charges. If you make your charges, then yeah, I would do 22 attacks with Crushing Claws, sustained, and rerolls. That sounds disgusting. But I would try a second squad of Raveners instead of the second Trigon. I don't know. That's just kind of how my playstyle has been for it, and that's, I've liked the utility of the Raveners, and especially if you're trying out Screamer Killers, like I suggested. Of course, you don't have to. I think having one Neurolictor in there just to like get a little bit of maybe an extra oomph from the battle shock of that. And I also really kind of like the double Exocrine. You know, when I first started looking at Subterranean Assault, I was like, don't run Exocrines because your entire army is going to get reroll once to hit. But like, I also forgot about like the Exocrines like reroll once to hit, right? And they're just one of the most efficient weapons that we have in the entire codex. So why wouldn't we just still run Exocrines? Because they gain it. Yeah. But this is a really cool list, man. It makes me want to try it soon. You know? I am playing against Quadruple Catan tomorrow night on Wednesday Night Warhammer, if you guys want to check it out. I'm tempted to do something like this, but I have an invasion build that I'm trying out. Anyways. Thank you, Ryan. Please continue talking in chat if you're responding to any of my questions. Very interested in picking your brain a little bit more since you've had such great success with the list, and thank you for submitting it. Moving on, Kraken Matt. I think Kraken Matt is in here as well. Very cool name. Kraken Matt, were you playing Tyranids in 9th edition, and were you a Kraken stan? I think Kraken was cool. I was Leviathan, unfortunately. I will admit. I'm sorry, folks. I was a meta chaser in a moment. He says, hey, Jordan, here's my latest list. Thanks. How deep is your love? We should have like every single time, we should rate the list names. Okay. TFX Tunnels. Ryan, I do like the list, but I think Matt's list name, How Deep Is Your Love, is probably going to win so far. He has a Neurotyrant, Old One Eye, Swarmlord, Trigon, Gargoyles, a man after my own heart, Biovore, Carnifexes. Look, he's doing the thing that you're talking about, Ryan. He's got one Crushing Claws, or maybe he's not. One Death Spitter. Okay, so you have one Carnifex with Crushing Claws and Death Spitters, and then you have the other one with Scything Talons and extra Scything Talons. I think I like this. I think I like Crushing Claws and Death Spitters with Slimer Magnets, because like, I think it's 2 extra attacks or something with the Scything Talons. And I actually really like the Death Spitters, because like, think about it. If your Carnifexes get out of the tunnel, then they shoot a screen or something. They shoot a stupid scoring unit or something. And then they charge in and then kill another unit. You know, I think the Death Spitters are pretty good. So I would probably just do both of them with Crushing Claws and both of them with death spitters. And then you of course do the bioplasma and the spine banks, and most of the time you probably forget to shoot it anyways, but I think you include it regardless. Love me some Kraken. Good, man. I was gonna be a little disappointed if you said, "Oh, I'm actually a Behemoth fan." We've got one Exocrine, Neurogants, Raveners, Screamer Killer, Tyranifex with Acid Spray, Von Ryans, and Zoanthropes. Very cool. So Zoanthropes, I think a lot of people have actually gone off of Zoanthropes, right? And I think the reason is if you run Zoanthropes, then most of the time you are running a Neurotyrant. So that's 305 points. That is quite a bit, right? Like the versatility is good, but it's like 6 last cannon shots versus 2 rupture cannon shots. I did a video on it one time, but I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I oftentimes value Tyranifexes over the Zoanthropes. Acid sprays for screen clearing. Yeah, no, I haven't been able to try too many games with it, but I think a Tyranifex with acid spray and Subterranean Assault is very cool because you can just pop it anywhere. It just like shows up somewhere. It'll kill a screening unit, and then if your opponent wants to move at all, you can just Overwatch again, and it is a disaster for them. Seems very good. And he says he doesn't own a Lictor. Here's what you should do, Matt. All right? Oh, yeah, there's no lone ops. Here's what you should do. Take these Von Ryans, right? Go on the fierce. Yeah. Screening out could be a nightmare. Let's see if I could just do. I'm going to Amazon.com, folks. We're treading where we haven't tread before, or whatever. You can find here. Look, let's see what this looks like when I do this. Boom. Okay, you can find 50 millimeter bases. Okay. And get some sticky tack or whatever, and just use your Von Ryan Leapers as Lictors, man. If you just do that, just sticky tack the Von Ryan onto the 50 millimeter base. Boom, it's a Lictor. Because I definitely, and it's funny that you're like, before you say it, I don't have Lictors. I definitely think this list could use some Lictors because they're just good, right? But I do like the Von Ryan inclusion and Subterranean Assault because it does kind of create like a mid-board screen to say, hey, I would like to own this space and then deep strike and surprise you and then go from there. And I think that definitely does a really good job at it. I would say if you're going to have the Carnifex big blob, maybe don't also have the Neurotyrant big blob, right? Yeah, Von Ryans are a perfect proxy, especially if you just get a 50 millimeter base and then boom. So I think we choose one or the other because it's just a huge point sink, and I think chat is feeling Carnifexes today. So this is just a thought experiment, right? I think what happens if we don't have a Neurotyrant and we don't have the Zoanthropes, right? So we're basically going to get 325 points, which is a lot of points. That is so many points. So 325 points here. Now, once we get rid of one thing, then we have to get other things. So we are absolutely going to have a Tyranifex with Rupture Cannon. Boom. And I'll change this to Rupture Cannon. Rupture Cannon. Boom. And you have at least one Rupture Cannon. Now, we still don't have a whole lot of anti-tank. X-Screen's good. We have 125 points left. We could do something. Yeah. 125 points. So you can get like another thing to throw out. Like you can get another Screamer Killer. Maybe a Harspex if you're feeling Harspex. But let's do this. We're gonna add the Von Ryans to this. 195 points. And then our last 120 points. We could just do 2 lictors, then we could be done. But let's take a look. I always like moving in different like packages with like a psychophage might be cool as well. Different packages, like setting up this unit wants to go with this unit. Like what unit wants to pair well with a Swarm Lord, right? What unit wants to pair well with Old One Eye and Carnifexes? And I think a Psychophage would want to do that, right? It's 110 points. It's pretty good. It's not bad. Did we have any like screens? We have 1 Gargoyle screen. At this point, I probably would, and this is why I've never tried the Acid Spray too many times, is because I get to this point and I'm like, what? I don't want Zoanthropes, but maybe I want Rupture Cannons. And so at this point, I probably would go to the Rupture Cannon instead of the Acid Spray. And then talking about screen clearing, we're going to make sure that both the Carnifexes have the guns like we were talking about. I do like the Exocrine for screen clearing. Maybe a Psychophage too. Yeah. Harspex is a good fit monster to tie stuff up. The reason why I was actually leaning towards Psychophage is because like it also helps with screen clearing, right? And it's a monster that you don't really care if it dies, but your opponent also needs to put some kind of things into it before it doesn't. So I am, and this might be wrong, who knows, there could be a different thing, but I would put a Psychophage, and I believe they are at 110 points. And then what I'm going to do with the last 15 is I'm actually going to quote unquote upgrade the Von Ryans to a Neurolictor. And that's just kind of a fun package that you can do with the Screamer Killer. I think it's fun. And the Screamer Killer, Neurolictor, they're buddies, and they can do a bunch of stuff. Yeah, that's exactly right, Ben. I think everybody does play different. That's why whenever I'm making these changes or these suggestions, just take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, you've made this list for certain reasons, so if you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine. Another thing about Tremor Sense, the enhancement, I don't think you really need it, right? Because if you think about it, I wouldn't recommend doing this, but you can fit half of your army in Deep Strike regardless, right? And then for 1 CP, you can pull stuff back. So if you're just very careful about planning out where things go, oftentimes you won't really need to be able to redeploy, especially since you're probably going to be redeploying a whole bunch of stuff in the end of your opponent's turn regardless, and then just going from there. So it might save you 15 points. But I mean, it can be a nice to have thing if you just have it. I am back, Big Bag John. What's up, man? Good to see you. All right, moving on. And I was excited when I saw this. Man. Oh, who was that? Let me say thank you again one more time. I'm sorry. Kraken Matt. Thank you, man. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you were able to submit a list. Let me know how those Carnifexes do. I think they're sweet, but I haven't had amazing success with them just yet. I was excited to review a Colosseum list. If you guys are unfamiliar, Colosseum is a format that I think Play on Tabletop pioneered, and it's like a better way to play Combat Patrol. But you get to create your own list, and there's certain stipulations. I think the stipulation is it's 500 points, right? You have to have an infantry character as your warlord, or you have to have at least an infantry character. You can't have anything that is above toughness 9, I believe. And the walls of the Colosseum, because there's specific terrain for it, the walls of the terrain are impassable. Let's see if, hey, here, I can pull up the Play on Tabletop Colosseum terrain. Let's take a look, chat. All of a sudden, I'm a not sponsored by Play on Tabletop, or of course, but this is the terrain. The format is very specific with the terrain. The objectives are set up like so, and the walls, your infantry units can't pass through them. So it's definitely like an interesting play on Warhammer. And I think we're going to try and do some on Wednesday Night Warhammer sometime soon. So be on the lookout for that. But this is cool. This is the first list that I've taken a look at it for it. We have a Broodlord perfectly adapted, Hormagaunts, a Biovore, 1 Carnifex, Genestealer, and Lictor. Seems awesome. Seems very, very cool. Because it still kind of plays the same thing. Like if you notice the terrain, you're still going to have a home field objective. You're still going to have like need for lone ops because of these. And then I still think you want to have like this tough thing to like soak hits and stuff. Of course, we're an invasion fleet. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a pretty good list. I think I would run Assimilation Swarm to start. I think that would be cool. But I also like this. I think Scout in Colosseum would also be a pretty good ability to have because the board is much shorter. See you later, Ben. Thanks for stopping by, man. So being able to get into your opponent's face, it seems like a really, really good thing to do. So I apologize. I don't have a whole lot of experience in the list building world for Colosseum. This looks, if I were to imagine a Colosseum list, I think this would be it, right? The only thing that I might like better is if we could fit points to change the Carnifex into a Psychophage. Let's go and do 90 points. Oh, I mean, you could just take off perfectly adapted and then get a Psychophage. Is the Psychophage 105 or is it 110? I forget. But if it's 105, you can just take off this because AP3 Genestealer. You're probably right. I think Carnifex is probably the best pick. Yeah, this is a great list, man. And again, maybe there's an argument that you want to have more units than just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I mean, it's 500 points. How many units are you asking for? Yeah. You think 105? If it's 105, then I would like try out Carnifex or Psychophage, just because like the 5-up Feel No Pain is also very helpful as well. But Hunter Nichols, that's who this was, King of Omnitron. Thank you for submitting our first Colosseum list, and I'm excited to see more. Absolutely. Okay, moving right along, we have One True Dark Soul, the first member of Hive Mind Hobbies. Thank you so much for your support, man, on WW and, of course, on this channel as well. It means a lot. It's really, really cool, man. He says, hi, Jordan, long time no see, or something like that. Exactly. Something like that. It's time to get back into cooking strange meme lists. I love that. A few weeks ago, I had an idea to make an endless swarm list, but to be honest, we know the deal. It's not even a playable meme list. So I came up with this unending swarm-like list, and Assimilation, the first one, did, believe me or not, even had one more full brick of gaunts. Goodness gracious. The plan is to just drown your opponent in dice rolls that will hopefully crit sometimes and regen the gaunts as much as possible. Love to hear your opinion on it. Okay, fake endless. Yeah, they truly missed the mark with Swarm. I think I'm trying out a Swarm-esque kind of list tomorrow night and Wednesday Night Warhammer with 40 Termagants. I think Termagants are like somewhat Swarm lists are probably maybe a good shout in Catan. We're going to find out. But we have a Neurotyrant, we have a Tervagon. We have 60 Termagants. Sweet. Excuse me. We're right at 2,000 points. I would probably want one of these units to have the biophagic flow and enhancement. I think it's almost a must-have in Assimilation Swarm. It really, really helps your auras quite a bit. We have Biovore, Excrin, Haruspex, 2 Lictors and Neurolictor. I don't hate that at all. I think that's a very good combination. Pyrovores, 1 Rupture Cannon, and 2 Venom Thropes. Okay. So, Harvester units, we have 1, 2, 3 Harvester units. I think you probably could go down a squad of Venom Thropes, because the Venom Thropes, Psychophage is 110. Thanks, folks. I appreciate you checking that on me, or checking that for me. I think if you are, spacing out your Termagants and you really want them to be within range of the Venipos, you can do it for sure. So we'll go to 70 points there. And just, I would probably, because I would think that one of the Termagant squads is going to be on your expansion. And then maybe these other two are just going to be harassing the center and then the opponents. So another thing that I think is that we are also like running kind of low on harvester units. So I would probably say change this to a 2-man Pyrovore squad. Yeah, that seems good. One true Dark Soul. Have you been able to run this list yet? And then this is just ×2 Pyrovores. And then another thing, like the one Tyrant effects is probably good, but I am still, it's funny in like Assimilation Swarm, I think Psychophages, especially in lists like this, have kind of dropped in their value because they don't get the feel no pain anymore. You need more guns. That's funny. So like I kind of run a Psychophage in this, but also not. Yeah, no, I think this is good. You could also think about, so if we split this, what if we did, what if we basically drop Pyrovore, right? So we have 2 by 2 Pyrovores, which is pretty good. I mean, obviously you probably want end all be all. You want the other one. And then the first thing that you do, I believe Biophagic Flow is 15 points here. No, I think it's 10. Let me check it on my ye old. Sacriphage is good if you have a lot of melee, but I think I was talking specifically about like the 60 Termagant brick list. Let me see how much Biophagic Flow is. I think it's 10, but I know that's very... It is 10. Okay, so you drop to a... Oh, yeah. You drop to 2 2-mans. Give the Neurotyrant Biophagic Flow, right? And then that would be... You would have 35 points left over for 10. And then you just throw in a Ripper Swarm for 25 points. And I think that's fine, right? Because he can camp maybe next to the Tyrant effects. Maybe he's camping next to one of the Tervigon, because you also want to make sure that your Tervigons are living as long as possible. Yada, yada. What's your guys' thoughts to running Malceptors with Norns? In my Invasion Fleet list, I run it for 2 good guns and anti-melee aura of the Malceptor as the middle objective bruiser. Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. That's fantastic. It's great. They're really good. Malceptors are pretty good at like heroic intervening as well. Seems great. One True Soul. I wish you good luck in acquiring and painting 60 Termagants. With this list that I'm trying out tomorrow, if I like it, I'm actually in chat. Let me know if this is strange. I'm actually excited to paint 40 Termagants. I am. If I had a second camera, I would just set up and paint, and we would stream that. But I'm actually kind of excited to do some horde painting because it's been a while since I painted. One True Dark Soul, thank you again for your support, man. You're a legend, and I really appreciate all the support you've given W&W as well as Hive Mind Hobbies. So thank you for being here. And I think your list is sweet, man. Try out some of those changes or just keep it the way you had it, and I'd be excited to hear the results. Xeno Saiyan. I think this guy was saying... he was saying... You see what I did there? He was saying, and he was in chat too. Yeah. Oh, 20 more. Psh, you got it. All right. Very quick sponsor bit. Check this out. All right. If you guys were unaware, we are sponsored by my good friends at Secondhand Geek. Here, I'm going to solve your problems right here. Let's look. And I know the screen is all messed up. I'll fix it. Termagants. Oh my gosh. Chat, should we make an offer on this army? This is crazy. Secondhand Geek, if you don't know, is a very good online. It's not an online retailer, but it's like eBay but better, because a kickback of the proceeds that any transaction happens on their site goes back to local game stores and content creators like me or Art of War or anything like that. If you are interested in getting some really cool stuff like this army, that's $2,850, which, like, looking through it, it's pretty close. Oh, look, hey. One True Dark Soul. I found your Termagants, man. Check out the affiliate link down below. That'll get you to sign up through our Wednesday Night Warhammer League. And you can get some cool stuff while supporting Wednesday Night Warhammer as well as me. Yeah, but check out the stuff that they have there. They also have Termagants here if you want to get 20 of them. Easy peasy. Anyways, he's just saying. Back to Xeno Saiyan's list. I spoke of the devil. And he's here. My current sub-assault list or invasion fleet list, I've only gotten to play with the sub-assault list, which ended up winning against Grey Knights and lost to invasion fleet mirror by 3 points. The Tyranid mirror is stressful. It is stressful, man. Subterranean Horrors, alt. Subterranean Assault. We have Narrow Tyrant, we have Swarm Lord, and Trigon Prime. These are like the three horsemen of the apocalypse right here. Trigon, Swarm Lord, and Narrow Tyrant. I feel like we almost always see these in Subterranean Assault. I will say, in my Subterranean Assault list, I often cut the Narrow Tyrant. Anyways, we have Gargoyles, we have Biovore, we have 2 Haruspexes, 2 Lictors, Maliceptor, Ravener, Tyrannofex, and the Zoanthropes. Very cool. So let's see. I like this list. I do like this list. I guess it was pretty good. It like checks all the boxes. The only thing is, like, how much have you liked the Zoanthropes? I just feel like the potential is extremely high with Zoanthropes and Subterranean Assault. But I don't know, like you could get a Tyrannofex and then you could also get something else, right? Like you get 105 points if you cut the Zoanthrope brick. You get a Tyrannofex with Rupture Cannon. You don't have to have the Neurotyrant anymore. And you just move on. But I do like double Maliceptor. Maybe 1 Maliceptor is probably where you want to be at. Maybe 2 is too much. But I think they're pretty good in Subterranean Assault, right? Sustain and ignore cover. And the sustain lasts through your fight phase. So you get the sustain buff in shooting, and you get the sustain buff in the fight phase. That stratagem seems like it's supporting the Maliceptor really well. You also need to make the argument of that's all in good, but you can only use the stratagem once. So are you using the stratagem on the Zoanthropes, or are you using the stratagem on the Maliceptor? And that could be tough. You know what? Let's do... All right. So I'm gonna change a couple of things. This is just some thoughts, right? I am... If you've had good success with Zoanthropes, keep them. Live your life, because you've been doing better than me then. But let's say in this thought experiment, we're getting rid of the Zoanthropes. We're changing the Zoanthropes for a Rupture Cannon Tyrannofex. We're getting the Neuro Tyrant out of here. We got 125 points. Boom. What I'm thinking is we want a little bit more like chaff clearing. Like we want to be able to just look at something, and then shoot. Yeah, Xeno, that is a tough balance. So I think we swap one of these Maleceptors out for an Exocrine. I'm kind of feeling Exocrines in Subterranean Assault. 140 points. Exocrine, 140 points. And then we have 30 points left over. See, this is all stemming from cutting the Neurotyrant. And then we have 155 points. That is so many points, man. Okay, so let's... Xeno saying, I try to send each Maleceptor to one middle and the other to my second no man's land objective. So like your expansion. Oftentimes, I will say, though, you can probably just hold your expansion with the Lictor. And if you're throwing like Tyranifexes at them and like Haruspexes, they can't really afford to go mess with your other expansion. So if you free up that space to also throw stuff on theirs, it's pretty good. So we have 155 points. Let's see if we can get... I kind of want like another throwaway unit. Like something to just cut down on primary, right? You have 2 Raveners. I love that. Oh. Chat, I'm about to do the thing. So I think I cut them in another list, but that was just because there was no Lictors or something. But we do Von Ryan's Leapers, which is 70 points, right? That brings us to 85 points. Hey, chat, what in the Tyranid Codex is 85 points? Whoa, the Riandos! Thanks for being a member. Welcome to the Gargoyle. Yeah, I only have 1 tier right now. What a good timing. Thank you so much for your support as we add another Gargoyle squad to to the list. Maybe add Hyper Adapted to my regular? Yeah. I mean, maybe, yeah. I think it is always pretty good, flexible to have like a Hyper Adaptive to maybe flux in with the Raveners. But thank you, the Riandos. I see your question. I'm gonna go over how to submit lists in just a second once I wrap up with this list, and I really appreciate your support. So Gargoyles are good. You're gonna take away OC. You're gonna just stop your opponent from doing the things they want to do. Also, it's very cute in the detachment. You know, you can show up 6 inches away from a unit, and then your Gargoyles can scoot 6 inches after shooting. Of course, you can't end in engagement range, but you can be very close. So, I mean, that's an obvious combo that you can do with that. And Von Ryan's Leapers, I think one of the downfalls of this list, little anecdotal story, last July, I was at ATC in Tennessee, and one of my good friends, Jay, he was playing Orcs, and he matched up into Subterranean Assault, and he was like, hey, what do I do against Subterranean Assault? And I told him, I was like, Jay, just run at him. Just push up the board, and Subterranean Assault can't really do anything against it. So the idea is with Von Ryan Sleepers, you put them in the middle of the board, you screen out your Orcs or whatever you're playing against and say, please do not run at me so I can create my tunnels in space and then Rupture Cannon you across the field. So I think Von Ryan Sleepers are actually deserving of a place and in a good amount of Subterranean Assault lists. So this is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool list. I would be interested to try it. Again, I'm also going to repeat like my thoughts of maybe instead of Haruspexes, we are running Screamer Killers. This list doesn't have Neurolictors, so maybe there's a chance that Haruspexes are better. But I'm leaning towards Neurolictors. Now, Riandos, our second member of the channel, our second little gargoyle, asked an incredible question. And I'm going to go on YouTube to show you. He said, how do we submit lists? Well, first, you're going to want to subscribe to Hive Mind Hobbies, of course. And I know this is scuffed. Let me change this. Boop. Subscribe. Boom. It says customize channel because it's my my thing, of course. And then you want to go to posts right here. And then on this post, it says, hello, Tyranid Armless reviews are back. Blah, 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 blah. You're going to want to copy and paste your list into this post and I'll take a look at it. And what I do when I'm setting up the list, first I'll take any members. If you'd like to support the channel, by becoming a member, I will look at your list first, just as a big thank you to supporting the channel. And then before I take any list, I sort by newest, and then I go all the way to the bottom and take the oldest list and then go from there. And then I usually do around 8 lists each stream. So I hope that helps. Let's go over here. Boom. Perfect. Okay. How many lists do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Moving right along. This list, getting back in the swing of things, I'm not good. I accidentally deleted this name. So if this is your list name, it's First Contact. Oh, we gotta re-up our list rating system. Okay, so Subterranean Horrors. That's a pretty good list name. That's pretty good. This one was Fake Endless. Yeah. This was Colosseum Invasion. Very to the point. I do appreciate that. How Deep Is Your Love, I think so far is the list winner. So Kraken Matt, you are in the lead. Congratulations. Let's see. If you I'm almost spooked by what people might be submitting list names as. What's up, Aaron? Yeah, you do kind of spam Jordan, but if you could if you could put it in that section that I was talking about, I might prefer that. This is Invasion Fleet. It says First Contact. We've got Broodlord perfectly adapted. Hive Tyrant with adaptive biology. He's doing heavy venom cannon and bone sword. If you're an avid watcher of Army List review shows, you will know that in the past I have favored the double melee Hive Tyrant. I think at this point I actually favor the hybrid. I think I like the venom cannon and the bone sword. So I think I like this. I don't know. Narrowtime with Alien Cunning. Alien Cunning. I'm not a huge fan. I used to really like Alien Cunning. See, I'm changing a bunch of my ideas. But it's 30 points, and it's a redeploy before you know who goes first. So it's not the best. I think we're going to drop a couple of enhancements for some room. No, it's okay. One True Dark Soul. You got it next time. Don't worry about it. It started during this stream, so it's fine. We've got Biovore, Double Exocrine, Gene Stealers, Lictor, Mouseceptor, Norn Emissary, Tyranid, and Zoanthropes. Now, this seems fine, and I think we got to the point where we were like, okay, I have all these units, and this is kind of what I want to run. Now, what do I do with the rest of my points? And then I think we threw in Alien Cunning and Perfectly Adapted. That's what I would guess, right? So a very quick change. What you can do, you can drop both of these. Oh, what is it? Boom, boom, and then you can just upgrade both of these squads to gargoyles and then call it a day. Because, like, honestly, this is a good list, right? Double Exocrine, Gene Stealer, Lictor, Mouseceptor, Norn Emissary, Tyranid, and Zoanthropes. The only thing that I would say, and I've said it through everybody, is maybe Tyranid instead of Zoanthropes. Although I do actually kind of like Zoanthropes in Invasion Fleet because sustain and lethal seems really good. You just stand them next to your Hive Tyrant so they can get places, and then do that. You know. If you're doing a Norn Emissary, I think this is what your Invasion Fleet list looks like, right? I think you either run 1 Norn Emissary or 3 Norn Emissaries. And I think if you're running 1, this is what your list looks like. I think this was actually pretty close to exactly the list I took to ATC in Tennessee like a year ago. The only thing is I did those 2 gargoyles instead of the Termagants, and I dropped the enhancements. So it's pretty good. I like it. Broodlord Gene Stealers are amazing in Invasion Fleet. I've been testing out Warriors in Invasion Fleet because I actually think they're pretty good into Catan. We're going to try tomorrow night on Wednesday Night Warhammer. Just because of the number of attacks they have and the fact that Catan aren't really going to surprise you where they're going, right? Because you can just stage where they are and then just run out. Yes, Xeno Saiyan, that is going to be a running theme most of the time. Except for maybe when the edition ends. I think gargoyles are a very good core to any list. Cool. Was this your? No, I forget who this was, but this is a very good list. I'm sorry if I deleted your name. That's awkward. That's my bad. But pretty cool stuff. Basically, I would just drop the enhancements and change the gaunts into gargoyles, and then you have a really, really strong list. Next up, we only have 2 more. One natural 20. He says, I'm still somewhat new to Warhammer, but this is what I've made up, hoping it's good. I'm sure it's great, man. And the list name is Biomass. Again, I'm going to say How Deep Is Your Love is probably the winner so far. Leather Wing. Great question. I did just describe it in detail just a couple of minutes ago. Basically, short end, go onto the YouTube channel, go into the post section, find the post that talks about submitting army list, and copy it, paste it in there. Members get a priority, of course. So if you want to support the channel and get your list viewed quicker, boom. But thank you for being in stream. I appreciate you hanging out with us. Let's take a look. Vanguard Onslaught. He's a man after my own heart. I ran this detachment so much. It's a lot of fun. It's a very fun detachment. It's not very forgiving, but it's very cool. We have 2 Broodlords. Hyper adapted. A Winged Hive Tyrant with Chameleonic. Cool. We have a Winged Tyranid Prime. We have Gargoyles, Biovore. Double Exocrine. 20 Gene Stealers. 2 Lictors. A Malceptor, a Mawloc, Neurolictor, 3 Tyranid Warriors, and Von Ryan's Leapers. We have 6 of them. Okay, so first things first, we're going to do a couple of things. My buddy Kyle, he's very cool. He likes the 6-man pack of Von Ryan's Leapers. However, I think you can probably get almost the same amount of mileage off of 3. So I think the first thing we do is we just cut this to a 3-man squad of Von Ryan's Leapers. And then we have 10 points left over, right? I think if you're running Tyranid Warriors, you definitely want to have 6 of them. So we're just going to upgrade this to a 6-man squad, right? And I actually think they're very strong right now with the potential of going into Catan. And especially with the Battle Shock nonsense we have within the detachment, it seems like it could be actually pretty strong. Now, a couple things, in my opinion, that stick out a little bit, like the Mawloc Malceptor, not the best, right? I don't think they're terrible. I think we have 5 points left over or something like that. One thing that I'm wanting is we want Raveners to go with the Hyper Adapted. And so we're going to take a look at which one of these do we not like. And then we're probably going to say, okay, we're going to cut that and then go for there. I actually don't hate the Malceptor too much because of the 2 Exocrines. I think the Mawloc is probably going to go the way of the dodo, as they say. They say that, right? Yeah, so I would probably drop the Mawloc and then put Raveners. 125. And that's 10, so we have 15 points left over. Boom. And we have Stalker already, which I think is 10 points. We have Chameleonic. I would probably just, I think, wow, I got 30 people in chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those YouTube things. But I think, I want to say the redeploy is 20 points or Hunting Ground. So I think you just take this last 15 points that we have and just get rid of Stalker. Oh. You get rid of Stalker and then you do either Neuronoid or Hunting Grounds, depending on your meta. Like Neuronoid is going to help with some, redeploy shenanigans if you want to do it. And then Hunting Grounds is going to help with a bunch of uppy downies. I probably do Neuronoid, and then you just jam the 3 Von Ryan's Leapers in the direct center, screen out infiltrates, and then you can do whatever you want and then redeploy them. But otherwise, yeah. Broodlord and Gene Stealers one turn killed my Tyranifex in the mirror match. I watched them fish 11 dev wounds with the rerolls. We were in shock. It was mine, and I love the review. Oh, it was yours, Xeno Saiyan. Awesome, man. Random question for you regarding our monsters. If we ever got the option for Carnifex Hive Tyrants to be able to dual wield cannons, do you think it would be good? Like dual wielding venom cannons. There was a time in 9th edition where venom cannons were like, I forget what they were, like strength 9 or something, which at the point in time that was like one of the highest strengths you could get. And they were damage 4. That was good. But I don't think so. I think I would still want, especially Hive Tyrants. Hive Tyrants, full send, I probably would not dual wield cannons. But because I want some melee. I want them to kind of get into the mix, like turn 3, 4, 5. I want my Hive Tyrants kind of finishing the game for me. Carnifexes, I think no, also because their weapon skill, their ballistic skill 4. They only hit on 4s, so unfortunately it's not like a really, really good thing. But it could be interesting if our guns got better and Carnifexes hit on 3s or something. Maybe that might be cool. What are the best units to deal with Catan? I think out OCing them. I think weight of fire or large amounts of damage. Other ways to deal with them. I think Tyranids are best at the first thing, just out OCing them, and then weight of fire. I'm testing out Tyranid warriors, and I'm actually going to be live streaming that with my good buddy Dylan on Wednesday Night Warhammer tomorrow night. So check that out. It's going to be a list that has 40 Termagants. It has the 6-man Tyranid warrior squad. It's got a Broodlord, a couple of Rupture Fexes, Hive Tyrant, etc., etc. It's going to be cool. So you should check it out if you're able to. But I'll make a video on that. We'll see if it's successful, right? If it's good, then I'll be like, I think I know what we should do to Catan. If I fold in front of Catan, which could very well happen, maybe I'll make a different video. All right, our last list for the day is Watermelon Cat. He says, hello, this is a fun list I made up. His list name is Invasion Fleet. I think, Kraken Matt, how deep is your love? You are the winner. Today's list name. So thank you. That was incredible. This is a good list name too, but Broodlord, Hive Tyrant with Adaptive Biology. Very cool. Hyper Adaptive Raveners. I love Raveners. They're very cool. They're just a little expensive. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squads of Hormagaunts. Holy crap. That's a lot of Hormagaunts. Biovore, Exocrine, Gene Stealers, Lictor, 2 Pyrovores, Ravener Squad, 2 Rupture Cannons. Wow. This is a very interesting list. The Pyrovores, do we have any Lictors? Did I say Lictors? We have 1 Lictor. I kind of like it. I think it's kind of spicy. There's one thing that I would change. There's 2 things. I think you want at least 2 of these squads to be 20 mans. Because, killing 20 Gaunts is kind of annoying, right? It's gonna happen, right? But it's gonna annoy your opponent. So, if you had 2 of these squads as 20 mans, 40 Hormagaunts running at your opponent all at once, you can regen them with a strat. Seems really good. And then, I'm not sure about the Pyrovores. What I would do, and I think your list would actually really, really benefit from this, is get rid of the Pyrovores and then throw a Neurolictor in. Because if you think about it, if you Battle Shock stuff and your 40-man squad of Hormagaunts can have the Neurolictors stand next to the Battle Shock thing, they get +1 to wound. That's pretty good. Not even I was that daring on the Gaunt front. That's funny, man. But yeah, that's what I would do. But I think this list is sweet. I do think we are going to see maybe a shift of a mixed combination of a light swarm, right? But I don't think MSU Swarm is good, meaning minimum size units. That's what MSU stands for most of the time. So like, I don't like 6 10-man squads of Hormagaunts. However, 2 20-man squads of Hormagaunts and then 2 other 10-man squads to kind of like initiate trade wars and stuff. I think that's cool. That's kind of what I would try with that. Folks, we done it. Again, huge congratulations to Kraken Matt. I should try and figure out how to do an animation where there's like fireworks and stuff. Thank you for the winning list name of the stream. How deep is your love? Very nice. Thank you again for the support. Of course, thank you to Secondhand Geek for sponsoring us. And thank you to all of you who submitted lists and watched, because of course, if nobody submits lists, then there's not a show. And if nobody's there to watch, it's just me sounding a little crazy for about an hour, isn't it? Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow night on Wednesday Night Warhammer with a list that might be able to handle Catan or might fail. Regardless, have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.